We had a big debut this week during halftime on Monday Night Football. Cowboys versus Cards. There was what do they call this? They didn't call it a trailer. What did they call it, Jason?
They called this a special look. Now, I don't know how this differs from a trailer, but apparently it does. 1 minute long, a special look. And there was, of course, a lot of recycled footage from the trailer, but some new stuff as well. I got to tell you, well, we're going to show it, and we're going to give you our take, but I didn't really think it was as exciting as the first one, to tell you the truth. I thought there was, there was no big reveal. I love in the first one how they show the mysterious cloaked, figure. So I thought that maybe with a second bite at the apple, we'd get a little bit more of that. There really wasn't. I mean, it's great to see more Baby Yoda. It's great to see more Mandalorian, but there wasn't anything in this particular special look that struck me as special.
All right, well, let's take a look at it, and we'll start it and stop it when we have something to say. So we'll crawl through this thing real quickly. It's not that long.
Yeah, 1 minute.
And like Jason said, there isn't really too much new in it. There's the Lucasfilm logo. Now we see the Razor Crest flying through the clouds.
And that voiceover, Mandalorian stand down. And we were speculating, Jim, what the relationship might be after we saw the first trailer between Mandalorian and these X-Wing pilots.
Right. And so, yeah, I thought they were giving escorts to the Razor Crest.
Right.
But now it appears with that voiceover, Jason, you're right. They're painting a picture that the X-Wings are actually in pursuit of the Razor Crest.
Indeed. All right.
So there's the Mando, and he's flying on that snowy planet with all the rocky formations and stuff that we've seen already. Here he is meeting up with Greef Karga and Cara Dune. He's holding Baby Yoda there, and Baby Yoda is really, just plopped in there under his arm.
Yeah. Is he got a little? Is he got like a little papoose going on there, or is he just kind of got him like a football under the arm?
Baby Bjorn type of thing?
I'm going to run that back for a second. I was curious about that.
Jason's rewinding.
Sorry, I'm rewinding a little bit.
So what, does he have him in a set, or is he holding him? I think he's just holding him.
Yeah, he's just holding him like that.
It's like, that's how I look holding the little Baby Yoda doll around the house. I just have him under my arm and I'm walking around. And there he is. Good old Baby Yoda, though, ready to rock for season 2. Yeah,
looking good. But we've seen this before. And Carl Weathers, Greef Karga, looking a little more aged.
Yeah,
with the
so
white
definitely
beard.
some time has passed by the time we return to Navarro.
Yeah.
Because Greef is definitely looking a little more white in the beard.
Yeah. All right. So he tells Greef
he's got the whole goatee there.
Yeah, he tells Greef his charge now is to take Baby Yoda back to his kind.
His kind. See, that's interesting, and we'll talk about that during our commentary.
And here's the fight there with the
one-eyed. He's an Abyssin.
Yeah.
And some people are speculating that he could be a Mandalorian without the helmet on. Oh. Now, can we rewind?
Yeah, let's take it back. It goes by so fast, so we're going to take it back.
Here we see an Imperial troop transport being launched off of what looks like a landing platform high up on a rocky ridge. And Paul Bateman had some things he noticed specifically about this set piece, this environment. He noticed that it's very similar to the landing platform, the Imperial landing platform from Rogue One on the planet Eadu. Am I saying that right? Eadu? E-A-D-U. And that's, of course, where Jyn Erso found Galen. And remember, the Death Troopers assassinated all of Galen's fellow scientists, Imperial scientists, at the command of and so Galen Erso, and that's where Galen Erso died, in that great part in Rogue One when the X-Wings came and attacked the very same compound. Now, Jason put up on the screen Paul Bateman's breakdown of this landing platform. He has a clip, actually a screen grab from the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer that we're watching right now, of the Imperial troop transport launching off of the platform. And then Paul compares it to shots of the Iadu, I still don't know how to really to say that.
I think it's
Yadu, right?
Oh,
Yadu.
is it Yadu? Oh, I thought it was Edu.
Yadu, Imperial Khyber Refinery. That's where the Galen Erso death happened. And Paul has a couple glimpses of it, and it appears to be very similar, if not exactly the same. Could we be recycling elements that were created for other Star Wars films in The Mandalorian? That would only make sense. I mean, use all the assets at your disposal.
Never throw away a good idea or even a decent idea.
Or could we be going back to Iadu, to the Imperial Khyber Refinery? Is this the same location?
Ooh, see, now you're, I think, onto something, because we are speculating that potentially the ice planet could be
well, we were thinking Ilum.
Ilum, thank you. Yes.
And so, a Khyber refinery and the planet Ilum. Right. You're right, Jason. You're connecting the dots properly. I don't think it's the same platform, though. It's not the same location as Rogue One. And I'll tell you what the difference is. If you put the pictures back up, you'll notice there's a big difference. Look at the length of the landing platform. It's much longer in Rogue One than it is in the Mandalorian. So it appears, unless that's a retractable thing, which is quite possible, it appears that these are two different Imperial refinery landing platforms. But still, they could have that function where the landing platform is retractable. What makes this really interesting, though, is these are based on Ralph McQuarrie designs. So that's why Paul immediately was attracted to him and knew he saw it somewhere before. And it's for early Ralph McQuarrie concept art created for Star Trek, not Wars.
Uh-oh, sacrilege.
Ralph did do some work on Star Trek, the motion picture, and the TV series Star Trek II, which was supposed to go into production, but then when Star Wars was such a huge success, theatrically Paramount decided, hey, let's scrap the idea for a Star Trek TV series revival, and let's just run out a motion picture into the theaters and make some big bucks. So that's exactly what
Correction, Jim, the name of that show was going to be Phase 2.
Oh, Phase 2, that's right. Star Trek Phase 2, not just Star Trek 2. You're right.
Phase 2.
Right. Phase 2. Bones. I think it was supposed to have all of the cast members.
All of them except for Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, he wanted to sit that out because he was burnt on being Spock.
He did an album, didn't he, called I Am Not Spock?
Well, a book. He wrote a book.
Oh.
I'm Not Spock. And then he wrote a book, I Am Spock, when he finally came to terms with all of it. And the money was really piling up in the account. Courtesy of Mr. Spock.
Right, so, right.
That's when all of a sudden he's like, oh, no, I am Spock, actually. Can't really find any other work. Time to embrace this guy.
Well, he did great voiceover. He did some great voiceover work. In Search Of, and then he was the voice of the big bad in the Transformers movie. I know that's a big deal for a lot of.
God, what a great voice. Yeah. Oh, he had resonance. And of course he was in the film, the remake of the Body Snatchers. What do you call
Oh my gosh, that's right.
He was in that Invasion of the
Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
What? With Donald Sutherland, right?
Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Wow.
There's some good stuff in that movie. Check it out, kids. That's a fun one. So, but you see that Paul is noticing in that comparison shot, though, he shows you exactly what he's talking about when he notices the Ralph McQuarrie aesthetic going on here. And it's most notably in these giant cylinders that we see that make up part of this refinery platform. And that stuff was actually created for Star Trek. And it's interesting now how they are picking apart Ralph designs from anything and dropping it into Star Wars. Ralph did so many amazing science fiction novel covers for paperbacks and stuff. I mean, more than you could imagine. He did so many. So maybe we'll start seeing ideas come from that artwork as well, being represented then in Star Wars. So I think that would be interesting. Just go put all of Ralph's stuff in there.
Well, once again, Jim, much like they did with aspects of Clone Wars, and then probably most obviously Rebels with the McQuarrie color palette that they really washed that show with, is that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni know that if they don't have George Lucas directly creating Star Wars, they're going to do the next best thing, which is grab the elements of the formula that George used to create Star Wars and use that to create their inhabit their world. And clearly the Ralph McQuarrie artwork, and it's fascinating that they would even mine outside of his Star Wars work proper. Just it's great, and it's a testament to the right.
Yeah, because of course Ralph also did concept work for the Battlestar Galactica TV series from the 70s. So how deep are we going to go?
And that led to a falling out for a while between Ralph and George Lucas, I believe.
Did it? I know it led to lawsuits between George Lucas and Glenn A. Larson's production company, but I don't know. I that stuff I don't know anything about, and I don't know anything about it falling out. Because I'm not aware of any downtime. Ralph actually he was there in San Francisco working away on Star Wars the whole time. I think I don't know.
I guess he would have been. But
I can't
at one
comment
point, yeah. Okay, well, let's. You want to jump back into the special look?
Oh yeah, I do. There's just a little bit left.
Let's do that.
There's so much more to say about this Imperial troop transport, because as you'll see, riding in the cockpit of the thing is. Go ahead and let it play. And then we're going to freeze frame it here in just a second.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Do.
Now, this is a cool... There, right there.
Uh-huh.
Who's that blue guy? Sure
Horatio Sanz. Sure
that's he was the Mithril. Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
From the very first episode of The Mandalorian. That you didn't like him very much. I think he's a cool little character. And I don't know why they needed him. They obviously needed him for some reason. He seemed like he was pretty well-connected and actually wealthy. Because he didn't seem like cost was an issue when dealing with the Mandalorian in the first episode. But then he ended up frozen up in carbonite.
Right.
But he's sitting right there next to Cara Dune. So I hope
between him and her and Grief.
Right. Yeah. So I hope he's not evacuating his thorax right now. I hope he's not molting. Because you don't want to be around that, especially in the tight confines of the Imperial troop transport.
Right.
But cool to see this ship in action, or this vehicle in action, I should call it. Legendary for its status among old school Kenner Star Wars collectors as being a ship from a scene that was not in the movie or ever intended to be in the movie. In the original Star Wars, it was just made to sell a toy, but it's worked its way in a official canon now. So as it did with Rebels, that's where it all started. So.
Right. And also, Filoni would do things like put characters into the show with their classic Kenner colors.
I love stuff like that. Yeah, that's fabulous. So thoughts on Horatio's return, Jason?
My beef wasn't so much with Horatio's performance. I thought his dialogue was very un-Star Warsy, a little too common English, just too casual, too earthy. That's all. I just thought it was too earthy, almost like I felt like he was acting in a Star Wars sketch as opposed to an actual.
You're really using his past. His past is haunting him as a
I think so.
sketch performer. Now he can't get away from it, even in Star Wars. Right. I don't know. I liked him. I liked him. I want the action figure.
Oh, I want the action figure. Don't get me wrong.
And I hope it comes with the action feature of evacuating thorax.
And there were also a lot of creatures that looked like that in those first couple seasons of Star Trek: The Next Generation. that kind of aquatic blues.
You're thinking of the one guy that was friends with Leslie, or what was his name? Leslie. And then he had a thing that was like had a piece of dry ice in front of his face, and I can't, whatever. I can't describe these Star Trek-y characters, but I know this one is a mithril.
Yeah,
and he's played by Horatio Sanz, so we'll be seeing more Horatio. I wonder who else from season 1 is going to return.
Oh, and squashing the biker scouts there.
Oh, go back. Look at that. This environment here sort of reminds me of the prison ship from season 1, chapter 6. The prisoner. It I don't know if it's the same, but it sort of reminds me of that. Look at that.
Yeah,
so,
right.
You know, blast doors
opening. I think they came to claim the body of Matt Lanter here. Oh. They're looking for that. But yeah, you're right. In fact, in this image of the three of them, I think was part of the first selection of promotional stills that we got for season 2 and that Entertainment Weekly cover story. But yeah, very Imperial looking, or well, at this point, I guess we should assume now New Republic, but formerly Imperial.
Remember.
And what else we got? Oh, Grief in the gunner position. I'm assuming on the Razor Crest.
Right. So are we going to be seeing more of the Razor Crest? Is there actually a little gunner's platform inside that ship? Or is it a different ship?
Well, I'll tell you what, Hasbro with the HasLab, they really quadrupled down on the Razor Crest. You think that maybe they have the inside dope that the ship is going to... I mean, gosh, based on the trailers that we've seen, the ship looks like maybe it's on its last leg, or it's gone for, or done for. But you know, it could be a character. I think they're trying to position it almost as like a ship that's also a character, like the the Falcon. Yeah.
Well, we see the ship crash land on the snowy planet, so we probably can assume that's how it sustained its damage. This looks like the planet Navarro to me.
Yes.
Where we left off with a lot of the action from season 1. And then here he takes flight, which is spectacular.
There we go. Cape flapping.
That's amazing.
It's so good. So good.
Again, you know, nothing too earth-shattering, but little teases is what we can expect, at least as far as some of the action. That was more of a teaser for some of the action we'll be seeing in season 2, as opposed to expanding on any of the storyline or anything like that.
Yeah. So I would have liked to have seen maybe another reveal, and we're so close to the premiere. That would have been nice to see, but or an expansion on a reveal that we already got in the first trailer. But hey, you know, we're so
keep
close.
Us cold.
Yeah,
keep us cold. We want to be surprised. In this day and age, it's so hard to be surprised.
We can bring you in warm.
Spoilers abound. Everyone wants to be the first to report a spoiler and spread it all over the internet. It's almost impossible to avoid, and that does take away a little bit of the joy and experience of watching and discovery as a story unfolds. It's
nobody wants
so
to be
I love the fact
that
this production is shrouded in secrecy, and they Favreau, keeps his cards close to his chest.
Indeed he does.